already?
Yep.
Okay. So we've been together for 16 years, and 8 of those we've been married. We've always believed in God, but he wasn't always first.
God was just kind of there when I needed him, but I definitely wasn't prioritizing, God in my life.
Yeah. I would personally say our life was a little chaotic before. Before we really made a change. He would work, Monday through Friday or Saturday, long hours. I was home with the kids at that point after we'd had children, and there was no church at that point still, and it was just like Zach would go hunting in the morning. I wouldn't see him until the evening. It was hard. It was really hard. So then we started attending church again. The first series began in February, and it was right after we got back from a big trip that was very expensive. And we were at kind of a point in our lives when we were trying to decide, how do we get out of this life that we're in? We wanted financial peace. We wanted peace in our marriage, in our parenting. Dwight, posed that question, is Jesus important or is he first? And we took that home and we're like, Jesus is not first in our lives, but how can we change it?
God was important, but he definitely wasn't first in everything I was doing.
Our lives really need a change, or we are not going to have the life that we really want, which is just a peaceful life, ultimately. Yeah. I think the biggest area where we were still kind of lacking in putting God first was our time. Are we going to be able to do, this and do things that we want to still do, or whatever that might be? And I signed up to serving kids, so that was a big thing for me. And Zach signed up to serve on security. Yep. So we're just like, we can do this because God's calling us to do this.
You always have an excuse why you can't do something, and whether it's with your money or with your time, you just want it to be easy with whatever he's calling you to do, but it always requires a sacrifice. You really see a change happen whenever you intentionally put God first in every aspect of your life. But, we were struggling in our marriage.
Because we weren't serving each other. We weren't being what God wanted us to be as a husband and wife.
I was definitely selfish in our marriage, and I had a lot of hobbies that I prioritized. One series in first, Dave was really talking about not only serving each other, but learning how to serve each other. When you really invest in your marriage and each other, it's worth it. It's the best investment you can make, putting God first in it and with each other.
Our conversations, they just became more meaningful, and our perspectives on everything changed, and it really strengthened our marriage, which then bled into our parenting and then just everything in our life. So
the patience that it takes to raise 3 girls, it takes a lot of grace. Really trusting God in our finances was a big step for us. I think that's where things really started to change. It was kind of a burden for us, so
we didn't feel like we could give freely because we were so tied up in serving ourselves and what we wanted. And so then we just made that decision when we got back from that vacation, like, this is just going to be a part of our life.
We made a budget, and our number one line item was tithing. I think a lot of people think they're going to miss out on something by doing that, but when you commit to that, everything else in your finances really takes off, and you see a big change happen. So everything was going really well, and then I was in an really bad accident with a train. It hit me and shoved me down the tracks, rolled the truck over, just totaled my truck.
But you left with scratches.
Yeah, I crawled out, walked away from it.
It was really kind of a reality check for us because Zach had invested so much of his time and money into this log truck, and just how quickly that was taken away.
But I was asking God, what lesson to take away from that, and just relationships, people really matter. I still had all the people in my life, even though the one thing, I really put a lot of time and pride in, was gone. It can be replaced. I didn't know if I wanted to buy another one. I was kind of devastated at the time, and everything worked out, with my insurance, found another truck, and I was actually back trucking in 3 weeks. God had a plan, and I think there was a lesson to be learned there, but I didn't lose faith. We kept going, and
Yeah.
we hit a lot of our goals
Yeah.
for the year, and we've really grown a lot through the last year.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we made some life changes, which helped, but you still have that anxiety like creep in, just having people around you who are like, I'm praying for you. God's got you. Just let him hold you. Like, it was so comforting. Like, I just felt instant peace.
That's where peace comes from, is really putting him first in what you're doing. So you have to focus on that, really invest in it. You can't serve God without sacrifice. It takes a lot of sacrifice, but it's worth it. I mean, every time it's worth it.